Hey, Zanaida.
Hey, Sherry, what's up?
Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. And we are so excited to have you join us this summer on ICCI staff. I wanted to properly introduce you, not that people don't know you because they do, and they're already requesting you, by the way. I know, isn't that lovely?
I can't.
Um,
I'm super honored. I'm so excited. This just being invited has been such a joy, and getting to like just hearing your voice saying that you want me, like that's
of
just
course.
it's
Well,
overwhelming actually. So I just can't wait to get over there.
I don't
So
think you
excited.
know like what a star you are, but since you're a star, we need to know your name and say it properly. So I'm going to say it and then you
Mhm.
tell me if it's perfect. So Zanaida Robles, right?
That's my name. And actually, I have recently been in paying honor to my family name and
Oh,
everything. I'm married to the most wonderful man on the planet, and
awesome.
whose last name is Robles, but my maiden name is Stewart. And so I'm going by Zanaida Stewart Robles.
Oh, I
And
love
you'll see
that.
that now on the more recent scores that I've been putting out,
Aw,
my more recent compositions. I'm using my full name and honoring my whole family.
that's
And that's
wonderful.
that's been really great. Really feels good to honor your
That's
family that way.
sweet. And I bet your mom and dad are like, yay, when you told them.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. My dad was like, it's about time. So
Of course, he's going to give you some junk about that.
you
Okay.
know, you know
No,
how.
but that's wonderful. And I think too, your name is so beautiful and unique that any more you can just add to it, why not, right?
Yeah, I'm proud of my name, and it's a family name, and if I can get it out there, that's what I'm here to do. So
It's
Zanaida
beautiful
Stewart Robles.
and it's unique in that tell me how it came about, like in your family. Is there a history
Yeah.
behind the name?
I know that it was passed down from a great aunt of mine, but we
Uh-huh.
don't know how my great aunt got that name. And
Oh.
we sort of speculate that maybe there was a family friend, or there's
Mhm.
somebody that had that name, and my great grandmother just kind of loved it. And so it got into the family that way, and then suddenly it got passed down to me, and now it's a family name.
Oh my
But
gosh.
it's actually Spanish in
That's so
origin,
cool.
and it means
Okay.
morning dove. So
Oh no way.
yeah, no, it does. And it's super
Aw,
relevant to my work and everything, because like there are
right.
mourning doves where I live. So my name is like it was meant to be. And
Oh
it,
my
it kind of comes
gosh.
out in my artistry as well.
That's really cool. But you are from California, right?
Yes, born, raised, and educated. And
That's
so
wonderful.
as I discovered more about my name, it became more intriguing. So I do like to talk about it.
California is a beautiful state, though. And what part are you from?
I'm originally from Southern California, Los Angeles County. I've lived all over this area. I was born in West LA, and I went to high school out here, did
Oh.
all my college studies here, and have worked here for my whole life. Doesn't look like I'm gonna be leaving anytime soon. I think I kind of like it here. It's a beautiful
Well,
place.
and they love you there, so I doubt they want to let you go anyway. I was thinking about how we know each other or how we came to know each other. And honestly, it's because that little bird I told you about kept talking about you. Because every
Mm,
time we were talking about women composers and who was like doing awesome stuff, your name kept coming up, which is how I
mm,
knew how to pronounce it correctly. And that
mhm.
person is James Green with Henshaw. So, how did you get to know James?
I got really lucky. A friend and fellow composer Andrea Ramsey actually recommended
Oh,
James as someone to help me when I was earlier in my career, when I was trying to figure out how to do engraving and notation, and I just needed help. And she said, this is who you need to talk to. And it just felt like it was meant to be, because James, how James is. I mean, he immediately just sizes you up, takes you in, and then you become family. He has taken care of me musically so well, and he connected me to you. And that's why I'm
mhm.
here. It just goes to show that the
Yeah,
way that this community is, as
right,
choral musicians and choral composers, we're very close knit, we're very tight,
right.
and we look after each other. So it's really
Yes, we
an
do.
honor and a privilege to be a part of this community.
Oh my gosh. And we are going to look after you because we are so happy you're joining. I did want to say, though, I know you've done a lot of teaching in your career. So I would love to hear more about that if you don't mind sharing.
I started off teaching when I was fresh out of my master's
Mhm.
degree with choral conducting, and I got to teach at my high school alma mater.
Whoa.
And I was just so exuberant, and I'm lucky because it was I graduated from the LA County High School for the Arts, and so I had really great students, and I got to do a lot of things that I think early teachers didn't, but it gave me this energy
Mm.
and love of working with talented young people and just hearing the way that young people, when you got singers that know how to harmonize and love to harmonize, that's the thing. And it's like,
Whoa.
when I was in high school there, I was there because I love to
Yeah.
harmonize. And fast forward, 10 years later, I went back to teach there because I wanted to
God.
continue to foster harmony in those young voices.
Yeah.
Fast forward through to my, doctoral studies, and I come out again and I'm still teaching high school because I love hearing young voices harmonize. I love putting those
Yeah.
voices together and watching them realize what
Hmm.
amazing sounds they can create together. And it's so cool when I get to create music that
Yeah.
they also get to bring to life. So not only am I
Oh.
conducting and teaching music of composers that I grew up with and
Mhm.
cherished and loved, but then I get to hear my students also singing my music. That's just icing on the cake. And it's super gratifying to integrate my
Right.
teaching with my composing. My students know me as incredibly energetic. I'm the biggest choir nerd they know. And it can be a little scary sometimes because I get
No, I don't
excited.
think so. I think you are like just wonderful when you're excited.
I
But
hope so. Yeah, I can't contain myself over my excitement, not
no.
just because I like the music, but I get excited when I see the light bulb go on, when I
Yeah.
see them realize what they're capable of.
Right.
It's just extraordinary.
And that's just your passion for the art form, and
Yep.
that's probably what led you to start composing. When did you start composing?
I started composing really early, actually,
Yeah,
in
like
high school.
when?
Yeah, it's very integrated. So the first time I ever got recognized for composition was actually in high school, and I wrote a choral
What?
piece. Yeah, I wrote a psalm setting, and
Whoa.
that actually won an award. But I didn't
My
continue
gosh.
composing. I got kind of not shut down, but I got scared because I didn't really see myself as a composer. I didn't see a lot of other composers that looked
Yeah,
like me.
that's right.
But I started to discover people like Rosephanie Powell and
Aw.
Undine Smith Moore and like
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
other, composers and Rosephanie actually was the person that inspired me the most because when I wrote to her, she responded. And again,
Oh, how
it's that
sweet.
composer connection. So that's sort of
Right.
the seed that kind of drew the
Hmm.
composer out of me. And
Right.
eventually I was able to, fast forward. I got connected with Tonality Group. They commissioned me to write a piece for them. And from there, it just became clear that I did have something to say as a composer. I've,
Yeah, you do.
been a singer my whole life, but and I would sing the
Yeah.
songs that I would write, and I would sort of put together little recordings of my stuff just for
Right.
me. But then
Hmm.
once somebody asked me to do something and I put it out there and it was something that people wanted to hear, I thought maybe there's something to this.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so it just took a little bit of, here, you can do this. We want to hear what you have
Right.
to say compositionally. And that was probably 2017 when I kind of really decided, yeah, I'm going to dig into this. So it
Like
took me a while, but I did get there.
when did you finally admit that you're a composer?
I think that took me until probably the pandemic. A
Yeah.
lot of things were
Yeah.
discovered during the pandemic. We were
Hmm.
sort of in an
Yep.
incubator phase. And
Yeah.
honestly,
That's true.
that's what sort of,
Right.
enabled me to hone my process, my style. At the
Hmm.
time, there was a lot going on in our country.
Yeah.
We've come through a lot of things. I live in a particularly, politically energized area.
Mhm.
There was a lot to say
There's still a
compositionally, and
lot. There's a
there's
lot
still
to
a lot to
say.
say.
In fact,
Yeah.
sometimes I have to go, I can't look at any more of that because I have way too much to say and not enough time to deal with it, honestly. I
Yes.
think we have that in common, right?
Yes,
But
absolutely.
you are Dr. Robles. So
That's
tell me
correct.
about all of that because it's so wonderful to see you there. Because when you said, it was hard for you to imagine yourself as a composer because you didn't see people who looked like you as composers. But now
Hmm.
we're bringing you to ICCI and the young Black women who are coming. They're not only going to see you as a composer, but they're going to see you as Dr. Composer, which
You
is
know,
amazing, right? It's so, because if you can see it, you can be it, right?
it makes a difference, Sherry. It
Hmm.
really, really does.
It
And I've
does.
had young Black women coming up to me telling me, I see you and now it gives me hope. Or I hear what you're
Yeah.
saying and I've had the same experience and wow, I can't believe that I get to hear from you and we have this in common.
Yeah.
And maybe it's possible. I see how it can happen now,
Right.
So, by the way, I wanted to be a doctor of music since the time I was 8 years old. I was always going to be a doctor of
Oh,
music. I didn't know what I was going to, I didn't know whether I was going to sing or piano or write. I didn't know
You
what I
didn't
was going
need
to
to know. You
do,
just knew you were going
but
there. I
I was
love
a
that.
doctor of music. That's what I was
That's
going to
so
be.
cool.
But that was just the mind of an 8-year old, just kind of like in love with music from the
Yeah.
beginning, and that's just never ever gone away. So if I can be a source of inspiration for somebody else, that's just a blessing that gets multiplied.
You already are for so many people, including me, because I love your work and so many others are really inspired by what you do. We can't wait to see more, and I can't wait for your students to get to experience the magic that is you. What is your teaching style? Would you say like you're the warm and fuzzy? Or are you like the strict? Like what kind of teacher are you?
Oh man, it's hard to say. I think I'd start off warm and fuzzy, but when it's no, but when it starts to get good,
Yeah.
I become, it's like, okay, we can take it up a notch. And then it becomes relentless because you start to see the
Yeah.
potential for excellence. And when you start to see that, you can't help but push because you hunger for it,
No.
right?
That's right. And
That's
you're
that's kind
excited.
of where I go. So I I,
Right.
I start off sort of, little soft, and then as I see the excellence blossom, we dig.
I
We
love
dig.
that. So many of our teachers are like that, though, including me, because I'm like, oh my God, that's so good. Like, do
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
especially when it's composing, because those are brand new ideas that have never been heard in the world before. And that's one of
Right.
the reason I love composing like I do, is because we're
Mhm.
creating something that has never existed before we did it, right?
We are
Yeah,
100%. Bringing it to
right.
life is, it's breathing life into something
Yeah,
organic. It's beautiful,
yeah.
and it's going to live through other people, and other people are
Hmm.
going to connect and know you through that
Right.
composition that you give birth to. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm a spiritual person too, and there's
yeah.
something spiritual in that to me.
It
That
is.
I
It
tell
is.
folks that sing my music and learn my music,
Mhm.
when folks invest in what composers write,
Mhm.
that is really, really special and really sacred, because the people that
Yeah.
do our music know us
Yeah.
in a special
It's
way.
very revealing, right?
Yeah, it is. And I think it's beautiful, and
It
I
is.
think it's special, and that I cherish that, and I don't take that for
Mm.
granted. And so I love if I can help another composer have that experience, and if
Yes.
I can see that
Yeah.
and know them through their music, that's really special to me as well.
You have the perfect heart for this because I can feel that you're all about like giving and making the other person see their light and see what they're capable
Yes.
of. And it's not about you,
Yes.
it's about them. Is there anything that you're really looking forward to or excited about with ICCI? How are you feeling about it? Because you've never done this.
Honestly, it's a little bit intimidating just because I've never done it before. The
Right.
program has a reputation, and Sherry Blevins has a reputation, and so it's
Okay.
excellence. It's excellence,
Aw,
right?
thank you for
I
that.
want to I want to contribute to the excellence. I want to be a
Yeah.
part of that, but I want to contribute, and I want so
Yeah.
there's a bit of humility there. I want to make sure that I deliver something that is to the standard that it needs to be, I think that there's no way to fail, because we're all in this for the
No.
same reason. There's a
Well,
each of us has a light we're
right.
bringing in to shine right through our music, and there's a
Yeah.
there's no shortage of need for light. If I can be a part of that illumination for the students, I think that I'll be on the right track to having a great time.
You will be and they will be too. And I think it'll be very bright in the room where you are.
I
I
think
want
so.
I wanted to tell you not to worry though, because we had a session at the end, the very last day, we had a session where we just allowed the students to ask us questions like of the whole group. And I mean, I
Mm.
sat there with like Tony Silvestri and Jocelyn Hagan and like all these people who are just the top of their field.
Superstars.
I
Oh
mean,
my
super
God.
like Raphael Fusco and Kate Jansen
Yeah.
and Brandon Boyd, thank you very much. They were just so humbly answering these questions. And one of them was, what do you do about imposter syndrome? Everybody who is returning this year, which is quite a few, every single one of them were like, oh, I have imposter syndrome. Like, they're like, how do you get rid of it? How do you deal? And we're all like, no, we still have it.
You don't. I'm sorry.
Sorry, it doesn't go away. Like
That's
it's
part of the
honestly
profile.
something that is we all deal with because if you're not a narcissist and you have humility, I think it's just something we all struggle with. And you get better at struggling with it. Like it doesn't keep you down as much. But I know you
Correct.
said that's something that you
Hmm.
come with humility. And I think that's a beautiful characteristic that you have.
Absolutely. We all experience. I was just dealing with this the other day, just like, do I really deserve to be here? Do I really get to do this? Yeah. And the answer is yes. We
Yes, you
do
do
get to do
deserve
this.
it.
We
You
get to be
do.
together, and we get to lift each other up. Just like,
That's
you're just
right.
lifting me up right now, and
That's
I
right.
appreciate
And
that
if you
very
need
much.
anything at all, you know I've got you. So when you're here with us, we take good care of you because you're our guest and you're a treasure to us. And we're so happy to have you. Thank you for taking time to talk with me today. And we're going to share this with our students and let them get to know you a little bit before they get to meet you face to face.
I can't wait. See you guys soon. And it's just going to be we're going to have a blast when we get
We are.
together.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zanaida.
Thanks.